website. My name is Dinara Isyanova, and I'll be your moderator for today's webinar. I'm a Strategic Partnership Director at Aul.Inspired. Well, I'm sure many of you are already familiar with Aul.Inspired project. But for those who are interested in learning more about it, you'll have the opportunity to listen to a presentation from our founder, Harvard Graduate School alumni, Aliya Shaykhina. She will be sharing with you more detailed information about all the activities planned for this year. Aliya, I'm passing it over to you.
Thank you very much, Dinara. Aul.Inspired is an initiative founded by Harvard University graduates with a mission to ignite children's interest in learning English in rural areas through social emotional learning. Our primary goal is to reduce the gap in knowledge and skills between rural and urban children by ensuring, please. Just a second. Okay, thank you for bearing with us. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. So a lot of you are familiar with our initiative, and our primary goal is to reduce the gap in knowledge and skills between rural and urban children by ensuring equal access to educational opportunities and resources. We specifically target children aged 10 to 13, a critical age for developing social emotional skills. Our mission is to inspire 1 million rural children in Kazakhstan to learn English language and build 21st century skills via social emotional learning. Our objectives are to support you, rural English language teachers in Kazakhstan, with the best solutions to inspire your students to learn English, to provide social emotional learning awareness to teachers, parents, and education partners in the local context, inspire rural children, parents, and teachers through relatable role models with similar backgrounds. This is our team. We bring together our backgrounds in English language curriculum development, education technology, anthropology, educational leadership, and psychology. And we all want to help children across Kazakhstan receive equal access to developing their potential. Our theory of action is the following. If rural children improve social emotional skills through customized English language acquisition, then they will build resilience and adaptability skills to be able to better integrate into urban environments, which hold greater opportunities for social mobility. To achieve this, we work in several directions. Solutions for children. We worked with Harvard Innovation Lab, where our team was developing a web application for children to identify their emotions. We hope to be testing it with you in the future. And it helps children with their English language vocabulary as well. We are now focused on developing a low-tech solution, such as a book or a printed material, to address social emotional learning challenges faced by rural children in their cultural context. Our research team, and this is our second area of focus, is working on development of social emotional awareness among children, connecting them to the latest research and best practices in social emotional learning implementation. Earlier, we conducted research of rural context in Kazakhstan. We tested users for the web application. We brainstormed low-tech solution. And this year, we are expecting to publish a social emotional review article in Kazakh language, and we will share it with you and your colleagues. And with your help, we hope to also conduct impact research on social emotional learning implementation in Kazakhstan in the future. Our focus on you, on English language teachers in rural areas of Kazakhstan, is our key areas of focus. Our team is working on developing practical solutions to integrate social emotional learning in English language learning, designed for and with rural teachers across Kazakhstan. And all future announcements about activities and events and webinars and meetings with experts will be made and available on our website. And with that, I turn it over to Dinara to introduce you to the event program and moderate the event further. Thank you.
Thank you, Alia. Here is our program for today, and it's our very first quarterly meeting. We are thrilled to have our two teammates, Alex Warburton and Marian Valentin. There will be a focus on the benefits of social emotional learning and the discoveries our project has made for developing our toolkit with English language teachers in rural areas of Kazakhstan. After that, we will have a session called Empathy Circle for you to be able to speak with your colleagues. At the end, we will wrap up and there will be an announcement of our next meeting. Now, let's quickly go over some ground rules. Next slide, please. Yes. Ground rules to ensure a smooth and enjoyable experience for everyone. Firstly, a quick note for our attendees again. This event is being recorded and the recording will be published on our website. Next, a gentle reminder to ensure seamless presentations and discussions. All participants will be muted during the entire event. If you have questions, please feel free to use our chat. Please note that Q&A session will be at the end of the event after all speakers' presentation. The webinar will be in English. We will encourage you to speak English as well. At the end of the at the end of the webinar, we will have a survey link that we would like to ask you to fill out. We will be grateful for your feedback to improve our meetings for you. Now, let us welcome our first speaker, Alex Warburton, Director of Research at Aul.Inspired, Harvard University PhD candidate in anthropology. Alex will be sharing a presentation on benefits of social emotional learning meta-research.
Hi, everyone. Sorry for that. Hello, my name is Alex Warburton. Salumet sizlerimi. I am the Director of Research, and today I will be sharing the latest research on the benefits of SEL. So, what is social emotional learning? Social and emotional learning is an integral part of education and human development. SEL is the process through which all young people and adults acquire and apply the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to develop healthy identities, manage.
Alex, we can't
Yes,
see your slides properly. It's on slide impact of SEL right now.
it's what?
It's on slide impact of SEL and we can see your notes.
Oh, what about now?
Stop sharing and then try again.
Okay, because it appears correct for me. Let me try again.
Yes, right now it's good.
That's correct? Okay, sorry everyone. So what is SEL? Social emotional learning is an integral part of education and human development. SEL is the process through which all young people and adults acquire and apply the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to develop healthy identities, manage emotions, and achieve personal and collective goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain supportive relationships, and make responsible and caring decisions. In other words, social emotional learning is the process of learning social and emotional skills, and it's just as important as learning reading or math. This learning process is most effective when it begins early and continues through high school. Social emotional skills are essential for success in school, work, and life. With SEL, students learn to manage their own emotions and behaviors, have empathy and show care and concern for others, solve problems effectively, make responsible decisions, and maintain healthy relationships. With SEL, students learn to recognize what's happening inside them and to become aware of their emotions, which helps them deal with strong emotions and impulsive behaviors. Students learn to identify others' emotions and perspectives, which help them empathize and show compassion, no matter who they are or what their background is. It's not difficult to imagine how important this is in the classroom and in life. Students learn to solve problems in peaceful ways and communicate assertively about what they need or want. This helps them get along with other students and get the help they need from adults. After all, we know that all learning is social and all learning is emotional. So what are the benefits of SEL? We know from a large body of research on SEL that high-quality SEL programming leads to improved academic performance, decreases in anxiety and behavior issues, among other benefits. Decades of research have shown that high-quality SEL program leads to improvement in students' social and emotional skills, attitudes, relationships, academic performance, and perceptions of classroom and school climate. It also leads to a decline in students' anxiety, behavior problems, and substance abuse. It also leads to long-term improvements in students' skills, attitudes, pro-social behavior, and academic performance, and it is a wise financial investment according to cost-benefit research. We also know that social and emotional learning doesn't just benefit children, but it also benefits adults too and can have a positive impact on teachers. Teachers with high social and emotional learning skills protect themselves from burnout by developing and managing nurturing relationships with their students. They serve as behavioral role models for children, and they're able to regulate their own emotions. Teachers who possess social emotional competencies are likely to stay in the classroom longer. Not only did we learn from a meta-analysis in 2011 of over 213 studies covering over 270,000 students that SEL programming leads to improvements in SEL skills, but we also saw some other important outcomes. For instance, improved attitudes about self, others, and school, about positive classroom behavior, and an 11 percentile point gain on academics. This is a significant data point that warrants emphasis. This kind of improvement on academics is frankly what has gotten the attention of so many people. This data point can foster the transition from a belief that these are soft skills, nice to have, to the idea that SEL is critically important and to be taken seriously. SEL skills also lead to reductions in conduct problems and also reductions in emotional distress. We're living in a time when emotional distress, depression, anxiety, and suicide are at an all-time high. Understanding that SEL can have an impact here is important, but with a word of caution that SEL is not a solution for mental illness. So what are the long-term benefits of SEL? This slide shows the power of SEL on predicting future outcomes in school and in life. There are statistically significant associations between measured social emotional skills in kindergarten and young adult outcomes across multiple domains. It's important to remember while a kindergartner's high or low SEL predicts their adult outcomes, you are not doomed if you don't have strong SEL in kindergarten. We know from research that SEL is teachable. We can improve SEL and therefore these outcomes if we are intentional and evidence-based in our approach to the work. This slide is about the practical benefits of an SEL program. Again, from a 2011 meta-analysis. Adding an SEL program is likely to be a wise choice compared to students receiving current school services. For example, 27% more students with SEL programs would improve their academic performance at the end of the program. 57% would gain in their skill levels. 24% would have improved social behaviors and lower levels of distress. 23% would have improved attitudes, and 22% more would show fewer conduct problems. There is a growing demand for SEL across the country over the last few years in the United States. Momentum has increased because the research has confirmed our instincts about what is important. And we see all sectors, including parents, employers, principals, teachers, and the students themselves saying, we believe SEL is critical. We also know that employers value social and emotional learning skills. Over 92% of surveyed company executives say skills such as problem solving and communicating clearly are equally or more important than technical skills. The top 10 skills identified by the World Economic Forum also all involve social and emotional competence, like complex problem solving, judgment and decision-making, and negotiation. SEL also contributes to other skills such as critical thinking. When we think about SEL in the classroom, there are three main ways to promote SEL: through the environment we create, through the way we teach our regular academic content, and by explicitly teaching social and emotional skills. Thinking of classroom SEL as a three-legged stool is helpful, as it illustrates the importance of each of these three elements for students to learn. Without any one element, the stool would not be able to stand. These elements work together and build on one another. When we foster a supportive classroom environment, we are working to ensure students feel emotionally safe, part of a community of learners, motivated, and challenged. Throughout academic instruction, we can build into our lesson plans opportunities for students to practice and strengthen their SEL skills while they are learning math, science, social studies, art, and so on. And finally, explicit SEL instruction is critical for providing consistent opportunities for students to cultivate, practice, and reflect on social and emotional competencies in ways that are developmentally appropriate and culturally responsive. Finally, a 2017 research study finds that SEL programs benefit children for months and even years. It shows the gains are lasting. SEL programming isn't just a shot in the arm that benefits in the short term. There are long-lasting benefits that go beyond school outcomes. Higher social and emotional competencies among SEL students at the end of the initial intervention was the best predictor of long-term benefits. Benefits were the same regardless of socioeconomic background, students' race, or school location. However, even though this research included 38 programs outside of the United States, we are still at the beginning of research on international SEL implementation in different situations and different types of students. As far as we know, there has been no SEL implementation in Kazakhstan. This is where you, as teachers, come in. You are helping us adapt SEL to the local context specific to Kazakhstan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex. Now, our second speaker is Marian Valentin, Director, Curriculum and Instruction at Aul.Inspired. She's also Harvard Graduate School of the alumni of Harvard Graduate School of Education. She will be sharing a presentation about social-emotional learning integration in the English language learning in rural areas of Kazakhstan with a toolkit presentation.
Thank you, Dinara, and thank you, Alex, for this thoughtful presentation.
And thank you to all of our participants for joining us today after a whole day of work. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy lives to participate in this meeting. First of all, can you all see my screen? Okay. So today I will start with a word of gratitude for our co-authors before talking about our English Language Learning Toolkit, or ELL toolkit, that our team developed this year. First of all, a huge shout out and thank you to our teacher and co-authors for their participations. We couldn't do the work that we do without you, so we really want to share that we appreciate you and we are very grateful. Now let's dive in with one of my favorite quotes. If a child can do advanced math, speak multiple languages, and get top grades in school, but can't manage their emotions, practice conflict resolution, handle stress, none of that other stuff is really going to matter. One of our goals as educators is to support our students' emotional growth, to teach them social skills, and to provide them with tools to manage their stress. And by doing so, we are ultimately working on preparing them for the outside world, where they can hopefully practice those skills to build meaningful connections, set their own boundaries, connect with others, and be healthier, happier humans overall. In the making of the ELL toolkit, we relied heavily on CASEL framework to guide us in the themes to explore with teachers. And the main definitions used today in my presentation also come from CASEL. So I do want to point this out. And alongside student activities to promote their social emotional learning skills, we also share tools to support teacher well-being. The main themes we decided to tackle during our meetings with teachers are the following: community building, self-awareness, responsible decision-making, self-management for both teachers and students, and social awareness. Each one of the activities I will present today were tested in our participants' classroom, and hopefully it can also resonate with you. Activities include icebreakers, mood scales, behavior-specific praise, or BSP, self-management reflection sheets, and gratitude practice. Let's start with our first theme, relation skills or relationship skills, or the ability to establish and maintain healthy and supportive relationships and to effectively navigate settings with diverse individuals and groups. This includes the capacities to communicate clearly, listen actively, collaborate, work collaboratively to problem solve, and negotiate conflicts constructively. One activity that you can do to develop relationship skills, especially communicating clearly and listening actively, is to use icebreakers in your classroom space. It can contribute to helping you build community and meaningful connections through open dialogue. You will give time for students to share a piece of themselves, and it will contribute to creating a safe space for them to feel comfortable, especially in language class where you have to put yourself out there a lot and make a lot of mistakes to learn and grow. So a safe space is really important for them. Icebreakers can come in different formats. It can be a short game, such as two truths and a lie. For those who don't know, each student write down two truths and a lie about themselves. They read their sentences to the class, and then their peers have to find what is true and what is not true about them. An icebreaker can also be a question that will invite students to share more personal thoughts. And one question I just love asking people, or students or people I coach, is what made you smile today? And this really invites people to shift their focus to positive thoughts and can really help them relax during a stressful day, for example. What I also love about icebreakers is that they are easily adaptable to your students' language level. However, you don't always have to ask them to answer in English. It will really depend on your goal for your lesson, and you'll have to ask yourself a few questions. What do I want to achieve during this activity? Is my goal linguistic or is it more SEL related? And do I want students to review some vocabulary, or is my goal more to just build social skills? So it will be up to you to decide. The teacher feedback we got after participants tried out icebreakers is the following. So over a period of 11 days, 100% of participants confirmed that children are more engaged, happier, and friendlier with each other when starting the class with an icebreaker. So just to give you an idea of what kind of results you can get in your classroom. Now let's move on to self-awareness, or the abilities to understand one's own emotions, thoughts, and values, and how they influence behavior across context. Self-awareness includes identifying personal, cultural, linguistic strength, identifying one's emotion, demonstrating honesty and integrity, and another example would be having a growth mindset. Here, we provided teachers with an activity related to identifying and sharing student emotions in the classroom. Your goal here is twofold. You want to build an atmosphere of trust, which in turn will support students to feel safe to share their thoughts and feelings with you and the rest of the group. Every year, I ask students at the beginner level to make their own mood scales. So you have one mood scale on the slide right now. And by giving them this creative power, they can really choose a topic they like and they want to share with other peers while showcasing their previous knowledge of the language. For example, I asked two students to include the question, "How are you today?" And then they have to add 3 to 9 ways to answer this question using vocabulary we have been studying in class. And so here are a few other examples. Oh, okay. So here you can see, how are you feeling today? You have 12 ways to answer, but usually I limit the answers to 9 for students. And then this other one could be maybe funnier. So on a scale of guinea pig, how are you feeling today? And then the goal is to pick an image, link it to an emotion. And if students feel comfortable, they can share why they're feeling this way in this specific moment. And so once students see these examples, they can start working on the vocabulary and pictures or illustrations they will add to their final mood scale. And once they're done, use these tools to start the class as an icebreaker. So use students' work as icebreakers. They love seeing their work used in the classroom, and it really gives them a sense of pride when the teacher uses their work to show others and use with others. If you want to go a step further, you can also have students record their daily answers using a mood tracker, and then you can have them analyze it once it's fully completed. It might help students identify trends in their moods and feelings. And for example, one student can notice that they're often stressed on Mondays. And so this is a good opportunity to explore the why and what can be done to support the student feel more confident at the beginning of the week. In terms of teacher feedback, over a period of 14 days, 89% of survey responses indicated that children are happier when using mood check-in at the start of class, and 11% noted no difference in behavior. So I think it will really depend on the way you use the tool and then how students respond to you as well. Sometimes they need more time and practice. Our third theme for today is decision-making, or the abilities to make caring and constructive choices about personal behavior and social interactions across diverse situations. You can practice responsible decision-making in situations such as identifying solutions for personal and social problems, or anticipating and evaluating the consequences of your action. Here, we focused on anticipating and evaluating the consequences of your own action by introducing how to efficiently praise the positive behavior we see from students. When doing so, your goal is to highlight positive behavior to call for more positivity instead of focusing only on correcting the negative behaviors that you notice in the classroom, which we as teachers often tend to do. We want to help students develop accountability for their own behavior and understand the positive or negative impact they can have on other students. We then connect and promote 3 SEL components at once: self-awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. The main tool we talked about in this session is evidence-based behavior-specific praise, just a big word, BSP. And so with this tool, you can describe your goal is to describe a positive behavior that you observed during class or outside of class and make a positive remark attached to it. For example, oh, Aliyah, you held the door open for Dinara on your own initiative. This shows generosity. Well done. So you really want to move away from just listening to a student and saying, great job, because the student doesn't know what this means. They don't know what the specific thing they did to deserve good job or well done. So you really want to be specific and add a positive remark after that. So after this session, we created a visual that you can see on this slide to help teachers practice the BSP method. So if you want to use it as well, you can really think about the positive behavior that you observed, what kind of praise you can give to the student, and then think and reflect, why was this behavior important to highlight? How does it align with your pedagogical values? How does it align with the positive behavior you want to see in your classroom? And then how did the student react to the praise? That's also interesting to notice. Concerning teacher feedback for this, over a period of 29 days, 100% of participants confirmed that students were more engaged and happier, and 67 noted that they were friendlier with each other when teachers reinforced positive behavior through praising techniques. Oh. Sorry, I got a message on the chat at the same time, so I'm just going to go back to the slides. Okay. So in terms of self-management, which is our fourth theme for today, self-management can be defined as the abilities to manage one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors effectively in different situations and to achieve goals and aspirations. General example of self-management are managing your emotions, identifying and using stress management strategies, showing self-discipline and self-motivation, and also using planning and organizational skills. Here is one of the first teacher tools that we created during the making of the ELL toolkit. And the main activity here is to document and reflect on situations in which you have to use self-management tools to collect information on self-management techniques that work best for you. For the sake of time, I will let you look at this document in more details after our meeting, once you have access to our visuals. Here you can see a management tool for students, and here it's for them to set goals during your language class. So when you work on a unit, for example, around school or classroom vocab, you could introduce a goal-setting worksheet for each student to complete based on what their goals for the English or your English class is. It will really give students the opportunity to collaborate with you on their goals, and it will empower them to be more active learners while working on and developing their self-management techniques. And over a period of 14 days, 100% of participants described students as more friendly, engaged, and responsible when teachers offered them self-management tools. Finally, our last theme for today is social awareness, or the abilities to understand the perspectives and of empathize with others, including those from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and context. A few examples of social awareness include considering others' perspectives, recognizing strength in others, demonstrating empathy and compassion, and understanding and expressing gratitude. When exploring social awareness, we focused specifically on understanding and expressing gratitude. Gratitude is the expression of appreciation for what you have, and practicing gratitude means making conscious efforts to count your blessings and notice the good in life. According to research, gratitude can have an important positive impact on overall well-being and relationship building. By adding a gratitude practice into your classroom, you want students to reflect and express gratitude to improve well-being and nurture relationships. You will also invite different voices in the room by honoring the interests and feeling of different students, which is a big part of community building and sense of belonging. An activity you can do with your students is to use a gratitude jar. Students will be able to use English vocabulary in context while learning about identifying and expressing gratitude. You can print out a similar picture as you can see on the slide, or you can draw a large jar on a poster and ask students to write something they are grateful for on a piece of paper. Next, each person can share their answer. And once they do, they go up and they stick their piece of paper in the gratitude jar on the poster. And you can keep this poster up on your wall until it is full with gratitude notes, and then make a new poster for a new gratitude jar to fill. To close this section and this presentation, here is another teacher tool that our team created. And here you have a gratitude journal page that you can really use as much as you like. We divided the page into 4 categories: things you are grateful for today, your daily affirmations, such as I am knowledgeable, I am strong, I am kind, those kind of sentences, what you're proud of, and what you look forward to tomorrow. And over a period of 14 days, teachers described their students as friendly, active, and inspired when they incorporated a gratitude practice during class. Now I will actually pause for a moment and ask Dinara if we have time to practice. I know I went a little over, so I'm not sure if we have time for this section or not.
I think we can practice a bit. Still have
Great.
some-
Yes, good news. So let's practice our daily gratitude. And here, if you can write in the chat something you are grateful for, and we can kind of fill up our gratitude jar for today. I know it's the end of the day, so you might have something that happened today that you are grateful for, or maybe just a person that you are grateful for right now, anything you would feel comfortable sharing with the group. And we can all have a look at the chat and see what gratitudes come up to close this presentation. And while you think about it and write your gratitude, I do want to say that Alex and I talked at you for an hour, but moving forward, our sessions will be more interactive. And I'll let Dinara add more detail, but just so you are aware of that, while we wait for our gratitudes to come up in the chat.
Marian, we could also move to the Q&A session.
Sure.
If you want to stop sharing.
Of course. Well, thank you, everyone. If you feel comfortable to share a gratitude, do so. And otherwise, I'll let Elia and Dinara move to the Q&A.
Thank you, Marian. Now, let's move to the Q&A session. Just wanted to remind you that all the participants will be muted to avoid any background noise. But don't worry, you can still ask your questions in the chat. So if you have questions for a specific speaker, just make sure to mention their name. So we noticed that there is one question already addressed to Marian. Nailam, she asked, after the mood check, what if some students say that they are feeling bad and etc.? How should I react? Should I elaborate on details? Could you please share?
That's a great question. And I think at first it might feel a little uncomfortable when someone says, oh, I'm sad today, or I don't feel good. I think the point is not for you to solve a problem, and it's not for you to make them feel better straight away, but it's more to just take in what they have to share. And if they say, oh, I feel bad today, you can just say, do you want to share more about that? And then maybe they'll feel comfortable and just say, oh, I fell during a recess and my friends didn't play, or, they might elaborate. And if they don't want to, you can say, that's totally fine. I'm here after class if you want to talk. And just move on to someone else. So it's not making a big deal. You feel bad, what's going on, what's happening? But just a gentle offer to share more, or a gentle offer to share also after class.
So that's what I usually do.
Thank you, Madam. Dear participants, we really encourage you to ask any question. So, and we will be happy to answer to them.
Nara, we can also catch up on the empathy circles, perhaps. So we started late, and maybe if the questions come in, Alex and Marion are still around, so they can address them. So maybe we can move on.
Yeah, sure. Thank you all for active participation. Now let's move to our interactive session called Empathy Circle. This is a small group conversation in a safe space to connect with other English language teachers across the Kazakhstan. So during our pilot project, we had discovered that there are certain challenges that our teachers face that they can only discuss with other teachers who faces the same challenge. So we felt it was important to add this feature to our meetings. We hope that you will be able to open up and support each other and maybe even share some useful information. This is a safe space where you can share insight and trust that they will be kept confidential. We will have you the following questions, prompts you can see from the screen to help you to get started. You will now be divided into breakout rooms and have a chance to discuss with each other for other next 10 minutes. So just a moment, we will be dividing you in the breakout rooms and you have a chance to discuss with each other these questions. Hope it's clear.
And the questions will also be in the chat, right? No. Okay. Our dear teachers, you have been assigned to your rooms, so your partners are waiting for you there. Okay, see you soon in 8 minutes. Somebody is asking me to join their breakout room. Let me try to see if I don't disappear completely. I'll be right.
I will just turn off my camera while we wait for everyone. See you
Sure.
soon.
Sure.
Should we bring our teachers back? Jadra is back already.
Yeah. Yes, please.
And there'll be 60 seconds wait time.
Okay.
Yes, I should share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
We're back on.
Welcome back. We also learned from previous feedback that this was usually an excellent chance to practice your English, and hope you have been able to do that as well, and that you enjoyed speaking with your colleague. I'll now hand it over to Aliya to conclude our webinar and announce the details for our next meeting.
Thank you, Dinara. Well, some of you already know what to expect now, but we want to make sure that those who joined us today, those of you who thankfully joined us today, and a few of those who will join our consequent meetings, this will be a quarterly meeting. We would like to build a rural teacher community, English language teachers, and our long-term goal is to support and nurture this community through interactive educational seminars dedicated specifically to you and to helping you implement social emotional learning, as well as hopefully identifying some strengths and work towards bridging the knowledge and skills gap between rural and urban children together. Our ultimate objective is to provide equal opportunities by enhancing qualifications and offer training for teachers in rural areas with limited access to educational resources. The announcements will be made and published on our website, Aul.Inspired.org. And you can expect meetings with experts and trainings. And today, Alex and Marian provided an excellent training. They are our teammates. They are part of Aul.Inspired, as Dinara has introduced them earlier. And of course, there will be some interactive sessions with them as well. That could include social emotional learning trainings, integrating them into your curriculum, as Marian described through our pilot introduction, and practical solutions as well, and activities, and meeting with professional psychologists, for example, to support you and share some advice and practical tips. But as Dinar mentioned, it's very important for us to receive your feedback. There might be many other things and areas you'd like to collaborate with us on. And earlier we mentioned Alex is our Director of Research. So there might be opportunities to collaborate on some social emotional learning impact and maybe some other research activities that we have as well. So we would truly appreciate your feedback. This is a QR code that you can scan to provide us your valuable and precious feedback. This is how we worked on our pilot. This was the most precious and informative way for us to interact together. We'll be grateful if you could share it, and it will help improve our events with your recommendations and make our meetings better for you. And I can see some of you are scanning it, so thank you so much. Dinara would also follow up potentially with the same survey link as well, if you didn't have a chance to do it. This is our contact information. Please feel free to share it, and please stay updated through our social media channels, across different channels. And we look forward to seeing you at our next event. And with that, I thank you on behalf of Aul.Inspired, and wishing you a very good evening. Once again, thank you so much for spending your evening with us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And the webinar.
Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, Saltanat.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you so much. It was very.
Thank you.